There's a kind of silence that doesn't come from an empty room. It comes from an empty chair, from a phone that doesn't ring anymore, from a name you still think about but don't say out loud. People think loneliness means being alone, but I've learned something different. You can be surrounded by people and still feel like no one really sees you. And sometimes the hardest part isn't losing someone. You slowly stopped reaching for them long before they were gone. My name is Margaret Collins. I turned 100 this spring. I live in a small house just outside Columbus, Ohio. White wooden porch. A little garden I don't take care of as much as I used to. It's quiet here, not the peaceful kind of quiet. The kind that reminds you of what used to be loud. I used to hate silence, back when the house was full. My husband, Richard, he had this deep laugh that filled every corner of the room. My two kids, always arguing about something small. TV running in the background. Dinner plates clinking. Back then I thought I wanted peace. Now I understand. That noise was life. Richard passed away 18 years ago. Heart condition. Quick. Unexpected. One day he was sitting right there in his favorite chair in the newspaper. The next day, the chair was empty. At first, people were everywhere. Neighbors brought food. My daughter stayed for a week. Phone calls. Messages. "You're not alone," they said. It fades quietly. One less call. One less visit. One more night eating alone. My son moved to California. My daughter got busy with her own family. I don't want to bother anyone. That sentence. It sounds respectful, but over time, it builds a wall. I stopped calling first, stopped inviting people over. And that's how loneliness really begins. Not in one moment, but in 1,000 small decisions to stay quiet. I remember one Thanksgiving, I told my daughter I was fine, that I didn't need to come. She asked twice, then she stopped asking. That evening, I sat at the table alone, same plates, same house, but something felt different. Not empty, but distant. Like I had slowly stepped out of my own life. I turned on the TV just for noise. But it didn't help, because noise isn't the same as connection. And that's when I realized something that changed me. Loneliness isn't about being forgotten. Sometimes. My phone rang. I almost didn't answer. Unknown number. And at my age, you get used to ignoring those. But something told me to pick it up. "Hi, is this Margaret?" A soft voice, familiar but distant. It was Helen, my best friend from 40 years ago. We hadn't spoken in over a decade. No fight, no reason, just life. We talked for nearly an hour, about nothing special. Weather, old memories, her grandkids. Why hop? Something inside me felt different. Lighter. That one call made me realize something simple. Connection doesn't disappear. It waits. After that day, I made a small decision. Nothing dramatic. Just one thing. I would reach out first. The next morning, I called my daughter. No special reason. just to talk. At first, it felt awkward, like I was interrupting something. But then, she started talking, laughing, telling me things I hadn't heard in years. And I realized I hadn't been left behind. I had stepped back. Over the next few weeks, I kept going. I said yes more. I called old friends, even small conversations. At the grocery store, with a neighbor, a cashier. They mattered. More than I ever thought. Loneliness didn't disappear overnight, but it softened. Because relationships don't need perfection. They need presence. At 100 years old, I've learned this the hard way. You don't lose people all at once. You lose them in the moments you choose silence instead of connection. We wait too much. We wait for the right time, for someone else to call first, for life to slow down. But life doesn't wait. People don't wait forever. If there's someone you're thinking about right now, call them. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Say something simple. Hey, I was thinking about you. That's enough. Because in the end, it's not the big moments we miss the most. It's the small ones. The conversations, the laughter, the presence. I still have quiet days. Of course I do. That doesn't change at this stage of life. But now, the silence feels different. It doesn't feel empty. Because I know I'm still connected. And that makes all the difference. If you're watching this, and you feel alone, don't assume the world has moved on without you. Sometimes, it's just waiting for you to reach back. Because the truth is, loneliness doesn't end when someone finds you. It ends when you decide to stop hiding from connection. And trust me, even after 100 years, it's never too late to feel close to someone again.